On today's show, what are those financial secrets rich people don't want you to know? And how about billions, $1.4 billion in unclaimed tax refunds? Can some of that money be yours? We'll talk about how you claim it on today's Money in the Morning podcast. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Money in the Morning. This is the podcast that we perform live in front of a Facebook audience, and we're doing that again today. We have not one, but two headlines ripped from the financial press that we're going to talk about. And not only do we read them like they do on some other podcasts, we actually talk about what the heck does all this jargon mean and what should you pay attention to when it comes to your wallet. And as if that's not enough, we then take both of these headlines and we put them together at the end of the show for something we call the big idea that you can take and use the rest of your day. This episode of Money in the Morning, presented by Emperor Investments. Automated investing refined. Emperor offers 100% equity portfolios designed to earn dividends while you enjoy your life. For 6 months, 100% free. You're welcome. 6 months free. Use our link, emperorinvests.com/MITM. That's Emperor Invest. Don't go to Emperor Investments. Go to emperorinvest.com/MITM. And of course, we love what Brenna and Francis and the team are doing there. But we got a fantastic show today. We got two headlines, got a big idea. So Laura, why don't we kick this thing off?
Who needs coffee when you have Money in the Morning headlines?
I still need coffee. Don't know about you, but I still need coffee. So I'm scrolling this morning, thinking about what fun things can I read about. I'm flipping through with my morning coffee, and I see this headline. It's a phenomenal headline from Kaylee Freilich from the Motley Fool, and it's on USA Today. So the Motley Fool syndicating their stuff to USA Today, and the headline is this. It is 4 financial secrets rich people don't want you to know. And I thought when I read that, like, there are 4 secrets that rich people don't want me to know. And it's almost like, for those of you that don't know me very well, I'm a Disney fan. And I remember reading this list of like 12 things at Disney, 12 hidden things at Disney that you don't know. And my finger, and I did it again with this article, my finger going toward my iPad, like, I can't stop. I got to touch it. I got to click. And I clicked. And the bad news was, on the Disney thing, I knew them all. And maybe that makes me a geek. But this one, 4 secrets wealthy people don't want you to know. Unbelievable. So I clicked. And here's what we got from Kaylee Freilich at the Motley Fool, just to tell you who the guilty party is here. At times, rich people seem to inhabit another world, one apart from the financial concerns of the hardworking middle class. Many speculate there's a secret to joining the ranks of the elite, often involving an inheritance from a wealthy relative or a multi-billion-dollar idea. But the truth is, it usually comes down to drive and smart financial planning. These aren't exactly secrets, but they're often what separate the wealthy from the wishful thinkers, and they're often overlooked. Here are 4 secrets that can help any worker grow their net worth. And immediately I went, ugh! That, ladies and gentlemen, is a big fat bait and switch. Incredible bait and switch. These are secrets to being wealthy. They're not things that wealthy people care about you not knowing. Really? Ladies and gentlemen, the Motley Fool, Kaylee Freilich, by way of USA Today, earns the title of
the dumbest headline of the week.
It's not even it doesn't go with the piece. So maybe it's not Kaylee's fault. I mean, Kaylee just wrote the article. Some editor goes, oh, you know what? We can put some snappy title on this thing, and surely it will win Joe's
The dumbest headline of the week.
Yeah. Maybe not even dumbest headline of the week, maybe dumbest headline of the month. But since we're here, we might as well see what they are, shouldn't we? Because I know you want to know. I know you're thinking, do I already know these four? Let's see if you do. Number one, your money should be working for you, not the other way around. Conventional wisdom says you must get a job and you must work hard to build wealth. There's truth in that, but if your only means of income involves trading time for money, then your income potential is limited by the number of hours in a work week. The wealthy know that making money doesn't always require hard work, and they take every opportunity to generate new sources of passive income. Passive income can come from several sources, including rental properties, royalties on creative works, or investing. You don't need a lot of money to start investing, but it's important to keep your portfolio diversified so you don't expose yourself to too much risk. Don't try to time the market by selling what you think it's at the peak or buying when you think it's at rock bottom. That approach is almost guaranteed to lose you money. You're better off buying quality investments and holding them for a long term. And I will say this as we stop for a second. Kaylee, you are correct. Diversification is a phenomenal way to not lose money, but diversification will not make you wealthy. It just will make you not poor. And rich people know that by having diversified assets, it will keep them wealthy, but it doesn't make them wealthy. What actually makes you wealthy has nothing to do with diversification at all. It has to do with having a position that makes a lot of money if you're investing, which for a lot of people means actually under diversifying. So realize that when you take a position that is under diversified, you have a chance to make a lot of money, but on the other side, you can also lose a lot of money, right? If you own a business, which is the way that most wealthy people get wealthy. Case in point for our fans here of the show, this crazy guy in Tennessee, guy named Dave. Dave actually became wealthy not by, that was Dave just calling me, by the way, saying, hey, Joe, just want to be a part of the show. That wasn't Dave. But the way Dave became wealthy wasn't through not using credit cards, not through having an emergency fund. Dave got wealthy by building an empire that teaches people financial planning. He built a business. That's not diversified. A certified financial planner will tell you, and I used to tell business owners all the time, listen, if all you have is your business and your business goes bye-bye, you've no other assets. So let's start diversifying some of those assets. I didn't tell people that so that they become wealthy. I told them that so that they could keep some of their wealth. So I get that wealthy people know that, but I think she's taking two ideas and mixing them up. Becoming wealthy and staying wealthy are two different things. Number two, keeping up with the Joneses will cost you every time. Most people think the rich live lavish lifestyles. While some of them do, many of the wealthy got where they are by living frugally and investing a big portion of their earnings. Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, still lives in the home he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, currently the richest man in the world, still drove his old Honda Accord for years before becoming a billionaire. It can be difficult to avoid the temptation to spend beyond your means, but it's crucial that you resist. Otherwise, you could find yourself in debt, which will hamper your ability to save for the future even more. Set a budget for yourself if you haven't already. Strive to set aside at least 20% of the income for savings whenever possible. When you get a raise your monthly savings amount before doing anything else. Those tips, by the way, can help you become wealthier quicker. They can. And by the way, don't think that driving a late model car is what makes you rich. Here's the real thing here. Spending beyond your means is what keeps you poor. But driving a late model car does not necessarily make you rich. Just a way to hold on to more money for a longer period of time. Let's move on to the next one. Time is your most valuable currency. When it comes to investing, your most valuable asset is time. Money you contribute earlier in your life is more valuable than money you contribute later, thanks to compounding interest. All right. We then go over compounding interest and how that works. You can look that up later, kids, if you don't know compounding interest. But I will say it is amazing. It's incredible, and people don't think about it. People don't think about the effect of compounding interest. As an example, people will often take some money out of an investment and buy something that they kind of barely want today. Let's say you're 25 years old. You take $10,000 out of an investment that's going to perform like the market. Using this rule called the rule of 72, you can take that money, and if you used it for long term, you could have that money multiply again and again and again. The rule 72, by the way, this very cool mathematical magic, we'll call it. It's genius. It's incredible. Take the interest rate you think you're going to get, divide it into 72. That tells you how many years it takes your money to double. And so let's say you're going to get an 8% interest rate. 8 divided into 72, 9, right? Yes. So your money's going to double every 9 years. So if you make a $10,000 decision at age 25 to spend it on something that you barely might want, a lot of people don't look at the opportunity cost of that money. Let's say that you decided instead to save that money for your retirement. Let's say that's at 65. Let's do the math here. That money would double 25. It would double again at 34, at 43, at 52, at 61. And if you're not going to spend it all at 65, it can double again at 70, right? So 5 times at 70, 4 times by 61. So that's not $10,000 you're spending in terms of money for your future. 10 doubling the first time becomes 20. That second time it's 40. Third time it's 80. Third time it's 160. And if you let it sit till 70 at 8%, it's $320,000. $10,000, nearly $350,000. And yet, people won't do that math because we don't understand compounding interest. Compounding interest, absolutely fantastic. And the rule of 72 is a great way to think about your future. So good stuff. Fantastic stuff. Mike says the rule of 126 is great too. I'm not familiar with the rule of 126, Mike. If you can put that in the comments here. By the way, if you don't remember from the beginning of the show, we do this live in front of a Facebook audience. So we get help from people like Mike. And if you want to also join us, head to facebook.com/iStackBenjamins. Lori here, by the way, says her friend Paula from the Afford Anything podcast, of course, and she appears on my Stacking Benjamin show nearly every Friday. Paula spoke well about how she became financially independent by working her tail off in her own business, not with passive real estate income. It's about growing the gap and building a business, becoming wealthy versus investing and staying wealthy. To your point, Lori says. Nice job. Yeah, building a business is by far the number one way people do it. But listen, it's not the only way. If you've no interest in building a business, we had Chris Hogan, speaking of Dave from Tennessee, Chris Hogan with the Ramsey Group was on the show recently talking about, I just realized I pointed to the book that's sitting over on my shelf. And so for those of you watching, you have no idea why the hell I just pointed. I pointed because the book is over there. For those of you listening, you don't even know where there is, but it's over there. To my right. Anyway, Chris Hogan, he was talking about how many people became 401k millionaires. They became millionaires through their workplace retirement plan. And just by putting money away that way. So you don't have to get all fancy schmancy. You can actually become a millionaire very, very simply by putting money in your 401k. It's not the way to get super wealthy. And isn't it sad that, being a millionaire, does being a millionaire classify as being wealthy now? I mean, look at $1 million and how long that money really lasts. Not wealthy, doing okay, but definitely not wealthy. Let's keep moving. Number 4 says it's best not to go it alone. And it talks about actually how advisors, having smart people in your corner. And whether that's a financial advisor or not, you guys know I totally agree with that. Having smart people, surrounding yourself with people smarter than you are, great way to go. I didn't run any marathons. It's kind of fat, and not PHAT. I was FAT. And when I ran those marathons, it was because of the fact everybody around me ran marathons. I was around people who were more fit than me when I moved to Texas. My new friends were more fit than me. They worked out more than I did. Guess what I started doing? I started working out too. Surround yourself with smart people. Make them your advisory team. You're going to do much better with your stuff. Success secrets wealthy people don't want you to know. Clearly oh, come on, that didn't play. I get so excited about my silly sound effect, and it didn't play. Clearly the dumbest headline of the week. Let's move on to our second piece, which comes to us from where, Joe? From MarketWatch. This is a big one. What if you've got a bunch of money sitting, waiting for you that you didn't know that you had? Well, there's one deadline coming up that might apply to you. This is the last chance for Americans to get $1.4 billion in unclaimed tax refunds. This written by Andrew Keshner. Over 1 million tardy taxpayers who still haven't filed their 2015 income returns with the IRS are about to miss out on $1.4 billion in refunds, the federal tax authority said this week. We're trying to connect over 1 million people with their share of $1.4 billion. Says IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig. To claim those refunds, the estimated 1.2 million Americans must file their 2015 returns no later than April 15th, except for Maine and Massachusetts residents who will have until April 17th. Half the refunds are less than $879, and the other half are more than that. Only $879? I don't know. Do I need an extra $879? Probably. Wouldn't that be great? What would you do with an extra $879 today? The biggest pot of unclaimed potential refunds are for Texans. There's $158 million in potential refunds waiting for Lone Star State residents. Meanwhile, the median refunds are for North Dakotan are the largest in the nation, $980. You live in North Dakota, you might be getting $1,000 back if you just file your 2015 tax return. If taxpayers miss that deadline, the unclaimed money reverts to the Treasury Department due to the 3-year time limit to claim a refund. There's no penalty for filing a late return if the IRS owes money. There's only a penalty if taxpayers owe money to the IRS, a spokesperson says. There are no extensions to the deadline except if the taxpayer still hasn't filed his or her 2016 and 17 refunds. Taxpayers may put the refunds toward other IRS debts or past due federal debts like student loans. The refunds may also be diverted to state taxing authorities or unpaid child support. According to IRS statistics, the average 2015 refund, $2,779. It's amazing that people haven't filed their 2015 returns. And you know what's sad? A lot of these people don't know that they're actually getting the refund. I've known over the years some people who haven't filed for their refund. And I will say to them, why aren't you getting the refund? And in their head, and it's not, and they don't say it this way. I mean, they don't say, listen, it's extra money, but they talk about it like it's extra money. Well, that'd be nice to have. You know, I have this credit card debt sitting over here. It'd be nice to have that money. But I'll get to that later. It's complicated. Here's the trick when it comes to this money. It's not extra money. It's your money that you're letting the IRS hold on to. And if after April 15th or April 17th, if you're in Massachusetts or Maine, you haven't claimed it, you have given the government your money. It's not extra cash. It's your cash. So what's that all about? Well, when you withhold money for your tax refund, or hold money to pay your taxes, rather, that money is meant to satisfy your tax obligation. Imagine if you didn't have tax withholding at work. You'd have to write a big, huge check once a year. And the IRS doesn't even allow that, by the way. They tell you that if you're going to owe X amount, you have to file these quarterly payments because they don't trust you to be able to write that one big check. You know why? Because nobody does that. Nobody saves enough money to sit around to pay their entire tax obligation. So they make you file that quarterly at the very least. But if you if you have a workplace that you work at, file those taxes on your behalf, and it ends up being too much, that money is refunded to you. A refund means it's your cash. So the IRS collects the tax. You figure out how much tax you actually owed. You over withheld. Congratulations. You're going to get some of that back. It's your cash. File your tax refund. Not free money. It's your money. And that's our takeaway from point number 2. Laura is here with us and says, I recently came to the realization my part-time job is actually having a negative effect on my financial life. Only problem I need to solve before I leave is the whole cash flow thing. Not relevant specifically to this, but what is relevant here, Laura, is that a lot of people, when they calculate, by the way, the tax on that work-life balance, they actually don't realize all the things that change, and they actually even calculate things wrong. And I'll give you an example. I used to have people come to my office and they'd say, listen, I know this thing, tax brackets. If one of the two of us is going to work, that's going to put us in a new tax bracket. And we did the math. I mean, 28% of the income there means that, or 25%, 27%, whatever it might be, of that money means that we'd actually have less money. And that's actually not true. The money that anybody makes, the tax code works it's a gradual stair step. So the first money you make is taxed at 10%, and then the next money at a higher rate, and then the next money at a higher rate, and it goes up. And so the good news is that means that you can work. But there's other things too when it comes to a job, like your uniform, the gas that it costs to get there. So Laura, to your point, you might be losing less money than you think that you are. Jim is here from Wallet Hacks, hanging out with us. Jim says, not applicable to unfiled tax refunds, tax returns, but related. Missingmoney.com is a great place to find if your money's being held in government unclaimed funds coffers. I found that out. I found that when I was maybe 24, 25, Verizon was holding some money that they owed me. I had moved. I hadn't told them that I moved. I'd overpaid a bill. Verizon sent that money to the state. I then just had to claim it with the state. So, missingmoney.com. Nice resource, Jim. Thank you very much. Good stuff. All right. In just a second, we're going to try to put these together. How the heck are we going to put together unclaimed tax money and our dumbest headline of the week, which was stuff rich people don't want you to know, which ended up being an okay piece, didn't it? But they weren't things rich people don't want you to know. So, but before we get to that, I want to talk for a second about today's sponsor, about Emperor Investments, because of the fact that we asked them to sponsor the show for a reason. Brenna and Francis in the team are a robo that I actually like. And what's funny is that if you've listened to my other show, Stacking Benjamins, you know that OG and I aren't really big fans of robos. And not because of the fact that robos are bad, just because of the fact that I think the wrong people use them. I think also the term robo-advisor is a horrible term because a good, smart person in your corner and something that allocates your investments correctly are an apple and an onion. They're two totally different things. So I think it's important to really know what you're getting into. You're not really getting an advisor with a robo. You're getting diversification. So, and then also there's some fees that you don't know that you're paying. Sometimes it's hard to get out of them. There's a lot of things that bother me about some of the robos. Emperor, I really like for a bunch of different reasons because of the fact that you have your own slate of investments, and largely those investments are based in a very Warren Buffett way, a very value-oriented way. And if you go back and you look at the back testing on how Brenna and her team allocate investments, I think it builds a compelling argument to why you'd use them versus some of their competitors. To check it out yourself, head to emperorinvest.com/MITM. That's emperorinvest.com/MITM. And because you're listening to this show, they're going to give you 6 months free, 6 months of none of their normal fee, which, by the way, if you take a look at how their fee compares to other fees, absolutely love that. Emperor, by the way, had this whole thing, very nice thing, that my friend Augie over there put together for me to read. We're not going to read any of that. We'll read that next time. But love Emperor Investments. StackyBenjamins.com/Emperor Invest. All right. Time for the big idea. I've got goosebumps, and I know you probably do too. We started off today talking about investing tips that the wealthy don't want you to know. What we really got were ways to be competent with your money. Fine piece, not nearly the clickbait that was promised in the piece. And our big takeaway was that wealthy people don't really care about you. And then in our second piece, a lot of people, a lot of Americans losing out on some money that's actually theirs. The government's been holding on to $1.4 billion of their money, on average just less than $900. Texas, we're looking at you. A bunch of you are in Texas, but you're all over the United States. File your 2015 tax return before it's too late, and you'll get part of that money. What's our big idea, though, putting the two of these together? We got an idea for the big idea from Mike, who's hanging out with us here today. Mike says, if you're throwing money away by not claiming it or leaving money on the table by not doing good stuff with it, same. My takeaway from this actually is even a little more meta than that, Mike, although I like that. It's this idea that so frustrates me. So many people, when I go into online financial forums, and even when I was a planner, there weren't online financial forums then. Back in the day, Joe old guy stuff. But people would always ask, how do I compare to other people? How do I make sure that I keep up with these other people? This whole idea of keeping up with the Joneses. The reason we would click on this first piece, secrets wealthy people don't want me to know. Really? What do wealthy people know that they don't want me to know? What's that secret that they have that I don't have? What's funny is the more you know, the more you learn that none of that matters. And there's a ton of people out there who haven't even claimed their 2015 money that's actually theirs. And yet, elsewhere in their life, they're comparing themselves to other people that have other goals that are unrelated to yours. What drives me crazy is when I read an online forum, somebody asks Earl in Illinois, and by Earl in Illinois, I mean a bunch of people in a Facebook forum you don't know. Hey, here's my top thing I need to do with my money. You don't know crap about me. What should I do? And Earl in Peoria answers. Earl can't zip up his own pants. Earl answers, and Earl gets upset when you don't take his advice. By the way, Earl hasn't saved a dime. Earl doesn't know what it takes. Earl doesn't know anything about anything. And yet, those are the people that you ask for financial advice. And you know why? I get why. It's because we compare ourselves to other people. We want to make sure that we get the collective. I think the big idea here is this from these pieces. You do you. And by doing you, I mean claim your damn tax refund. That's your money. Claim it. Forget about what everybody else is doing. Wealthy people, they don't care about you. And it's not that there's any malice in that. I don't think wealthy people are scheming against you, that they don't want you to know stuff. No, wealthy people just don't care. They have their own stuff, right? You do you. Find people who know you. Find people to be in your corner who maybe can be a little bit invested in your goals. Share stuff with them. And it's okay to talk in internet forums about what's going on. But when I see somebody just completely go, how do I keep up with all these other people? And why, and bearing their soul about everything in their financial closet to people online, shouldn't be the only people you're asking. And it also shouldn't be tied to how am I doing as well as other people. That's my big takeaway. Kind of ranty today. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, on Facebook. Gregory says he can zip up his pants. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Earl in Peoria. I have no idea who Earl in Peoria is. but I hope you get the point. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for hanging out, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for everybody listening. By the way, thank you for people that have left a review of this show. You know, my mom really likes to impress the Bridge Club by going over some of the reviews that we get on this show because of the fact that, well, you know, makes her look good with the Bridge Club. So thank you to everybody who's done that. We'll see you next time back here at Money in the Morning.
This show is created by Joe Saul-Sehy, hosted and produced by Bobby Rebell and Joe Saul-Sehy, is engineered by Caden Thompson, and all put together by a pack of well-trained ferrets down here in Joe's mom's basement. You'll find Bobby at the Financial Grown-Up Podcast and Joe at the Stacking Benjamin Show. Go say hi to them there, too. Online, visit us on Twitter at Average Joe Money and at Bobby Rebell, or come join a live recording at our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/iStackBenjamins. I know you already know this too, but Money in the Morning is for entertainment purposes only. You should not act on anything recommended by a bunch of entertainers in a basement or even a Manhattan kitchen without first consulting your financial advisor. And second, dude, have your head examined. Have headlines you'd like us to discuss? Send them to joe@stackingbenjamins.com or put them on our Stacking Benjamins closed Facebook group. This show is a collaboration of Stacking Benjamins LLC and BRK Media LLC. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor Doug, and I reserve the right to always say, we'll see you next time back here on Money in the Morning.